Alright, let's get started here. So, this came up roughly when I mean, it's been talked about before, but it just hasn't been actually implemented. But it was talked about during League Week when it was Swordless. And... Kara was like, hey, I did the thing. Here you go. Try it out. So, what is the thing? The thing is pretty simple. Basically, your hammer not only replaces your sword in the game as your main weapon, it actually goes into your hand, your B button. So you don't have to equip the hammer anymore once you get it. It just remains on your B button. Is it B button? Yeah, on your B button forever. So, Argus is going to be not so much a turn-based battle anymore. That's going to be nice. Now, we all, when Kara brought it up, I already was like thinking about some of the things that you have to sacrifice for this. The two being the ability to kind of punch buffer for like setups and lineups, and the ability to strafe. I believe Kara has made it so that you can still do the strafe after you smack your hammer, but not being able to do the buffer is the only real downside, which is a pretty minor one, all things considered. So, the other thing to mention before we get started is that this is a new MSU pack that was just dropped yesterday by, let me go get their name. By Mailing a Bear, who was the same person that made the Tomoko MSU pack that I've used a ton. So, this is the Link to the Past soundtrack, but made in Mario Paint, or the Mario Paint music maker. So, enjoy the funnies. 3, 2, 1, go! Also, this is a standard starting boots swordless. Key Sanity with Enemizer Boss Shuffle. Ugh. It starts. I also did standard, hoping that I get hammer right away. I'm assuming it's Mario Paint Composer, but... Fire Rod, okay. Dang, wanted starting hammer, but this is fine. And I was forewarned early that the music, the MSU was a little loud, so I did turn it down a little bit. We'll see if I turned it down enough. Spooky. You fool! I know. Well, now it's too quiet. Can't even hear it over the rain. Ow. I just set everything to -21, which I think is one of the standards. So we'll work with what we got. There we go. Now we can enjoy it. Okay, a few missed fire rod shots. That's fine. I mean, the other upside about Enemizer is there's still the chance that, well, you get different enemies with different price packs, so you have a better chance of maybe getting magic or something. Maybe. I was expecting you to go to the right. Kind of annoying. I listened to the soundtrack last night before I loaded this up, and I cannot wait for y'all to hear the cave theme. Cave theme's great. It's definitely a meme MSU pack for sure. A funny haha joke. What we got? Okay. Okay. I wonder. I don't remember if if I recall, dying refills some of your magic. Yeah. Okay. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Aren't meme MSCs just better? Yes and no. For restreams, probably not. For casual, sure. I'm still haunted by the oh, this is the downside. I have to refight this enemy. Haunted by the slider MSU I heard the other day. That somehow was approved for restreams, potentially. Eagerly awaited meows and woofs. Yeah, pretty much. Spoiler. Spooky ghost. Monsieur. What's up, Serge? I mean, I only need to kill one more enemy. Let's see. I'll grab the magic. There's a magic there, and I think there's another one right here. Oh gosh, not popos. Anything but those. Dude, these are some baby enemies. Okay. Oh, I need those. Ow. Dude, imagine if those were unkillable thieves. I'd be so dead. There'd be no way. Unkillable thieves that deal damage. Good thing I don't have either of those things turned on. You made me miss. Oh my gosh. This guy's a gamer. Okay. Yeah, Zelda Cell had the bow. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It's time. Hammer, 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 hammer. You know what? It's even worse. Ah! Oh no. I really wish I still had that fire rod shot. Oops. Does hammer dashing work? Yeah. Does it not? Maybe it doesn't. Uh-oh. Okay. If you want a hammer dash, you have to switch. Wait. Double hammer? Oh. If you want a hammer dash, you have to put on your Y. Dude, I'm just imagining me, like, dual-wielding hammers. Why do there have to be so many dang red guards? That's just mean. It's just mean, Enemizer. Ow. Why does there have to be a third one? Okay. I hesitated because... Thief. Didn't help. Also trying to hammer north is, it's always a mistake. Delicious mistake. Dual wielding giant hammer jump attacks. You know, I haven't talked to my boy Swerve to see when we're playing next. I'm gonna die again, aren't I? Aha! Gaming. By the way, chat, I don't know if you saw my tweet, or if you see at the bottom left of the screen, there is a new Madrina's deal going on. Type exclamation point deals for the deets on the deals. The deal deets. The deals. Fire rod. Fire rod. Fire rod. No. Be smart, Will. Be smart. Go get this help. Alright, I can't item dash because it's swordless. Got that new cold brew flavor you've been wanting to try? Well, it's only $8, I think, with my code, plus the 65% off. I'm talking deals. Hammerbow. Mortis. Alright. We did it! That was fun. When is progressive Garf? Tell me more. When is buff Garf for Super Metroid? Oh, it's so good. Arf, 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 arf. Key change. Like, I wasn't sold on this pack until I got to the cave team, and I was like, alright, I'm sold now.
Timeout.
Timeout? What we got? Dahan. Oh, look, it updated without me having to do anything. Hell yeah. Hey, what's up, Karaoke? Thanks for the raid. We had a good stream. Welcome, friends. We're trying out something stupid. The barking. You ever caught yourself playing swordless mode and you're like, man, I wish I had a sword. Well, too bad. It's not going to change. This is swordless. But what if you had a hammer instead where the sword goes? Well, now you can. Hey, look at that. Also, yes, if you hold down the button, you can still do the strafe. So you lose the like buffering that you have, like the punch buffer to do lineups, but you can still do your strafe, which I think is still like super valuable for setting up lineups. When are progressive hammers? Kara, when are progressive hammers? My shelves cannot carry any more Madrus. My cupboard plus all the like Thanksgiving stuff that we got is just, it's very full, very stocked up on goodies. Arf, arf, arf. Bowie. No, Carrie, you don't have to. You've done enough. I don't know. I honestly, I don't really think progressive hammers would be worth. I don't really think it'd be that good. Because, like, you're already limited by how bad the hammer hitbox is, and, like, you know, you can't do a spin with it. Its hitbox sucks. To then also make it, like, shit, like, make it a fighter sword hammer, just... Nah. I don't think I like the idea. It's killable only, yeah. Got 8 more tubs. Too good to pass up on overstocking. Hell yeah. I think I'm gonna, like, buy up a bunch of peppermint mocha to send out to family for the holidays. Arf, arf. No, Jaded Faith. Please no. Get out of here. I feel like instead of doing that, you just have to make it so that every time you use your hammer, it drains a quarter of your heart. Well, if it breaks horribly, Kara, it'll be funny. And at the end of the day, isn't that what really matters? Oh no, I'm almost out of hammer charges. Whatever shall I do? Does Madrinas have K-Cups? I don't believe so, no. And by I don't believe so, I mean I do know for sure that they do not. I think they used to, back when they still had, like, canned cold brews and stuff, but they don't do it for now. I do know, though, based on yesterday's Rise and Grind, the monthly Madrinas coffee meetings that we have in the mornings, that they are going to be diverting a lot of attention to their whole bean section going into 2023. So there is a chance that maybe K-Cups will return. I'm a guy who grew up on well water too. I've got 3 dentist appointments this week to keep my grill right. Yeah, that stinking well water. I need to schedule an appointment. Good luck with yours. I hate going to the dentist, but I definitely need to get a cleaning in at least. Wang. 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 What's up, Doc? Don't remind me. Well, I didn't know you were in chat. Jeez. Jeez. Good luck to you too as well. Oh yeah, if you don't have enough health to pull the Master Sword, you just die. It's beautiful. Okay. Well, we got some good stuff. Barf, barf, barf. I don't know why, but the minute this starts, it just makes me think of Five Goes West. When they're trying to teach, shoot, what's the cat's name? They were trying to teach him to be a dog. He's like, arf, woof, bowie wowie. What was his name? Ah. Just join the military? Ah. What a brilliant idea. What was his name? I can't think of it. It's driving me nuts. I need a hotline where I can just immediately call up my brother and be like, hey, Matt, what was the name of the cat from Philo Goes West? Oh, yeah. Hey! That's what I thought. Tiger? Yeah, that sounds right. Thanks, Steve. Or Google. Tiger just sounded like one of those names that are too obvious to be right in my head, but yeah. No, you're right. What a novel idea. Look, I have food out, but also I hammer. Yeah, the only downside that I already mentioned once, but now I'm mentioning again, is that you lose the like punch buffering that you get. And if you want an item, or if you want a hammer dash... Oh wait, you can't even hammer dash, because it's swordless, never mind. Why did I forget about that? I blame chat. Alright, I need to find a glove. Well, I need to find a book, because that glove there is logically, like, 100% book locked. Yeah, you can still equip the hammer. B? Why? B? Why? No, you can't dual-wield hammers, sorry. Arf, 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 arf. Okay, well. I guess we'll go... see Saha, then. Hey, no. Ah! No! My stuff! Hey, look at that rupee count, by the way. Does it remind you of anything? Does it remind you of yesterday's freaking door rando? What door rando? I know, right? Oh, I love that. I love the little build-up with the dogs. Very good. This is terrifying. So wait, just to make it clear, Kara, the killable setting means that there's not going to be any, like, non-killable enemies, even including blade traps and yellow spikes, chain chomps, or beamos, or any of that? Arf, 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 arf. Yeah. Okay, I thought it just meant for, like, the thieves. Oh, those will be vanilla. Oh, okay. Interesting. This is here. Help me. Yeah. I feel like I needed to go through and, like, pick and choose which songs I needed to turn down, because now this one seems a little quiet. Unless it sounds fine for you all. Maybe it's just quiet for me. Okay, well now it's not quiet anymore. Now I'm glad I turned this one down. Honk, honk, honk. Honk, honk, honk. Mountain Dew with Apple Crown Royale. Tastes like ginger ale. Ooh. 'Tis the season for hot ciders. I've been enjoying doing the peppermint mocha cold brew, but with hot milk. Like a hot peppermint mocha cocoa. Aha! I win. Okay. Freaking dog. Yeah, that, the Light World theme's less than ideal, unfortunately. It's okay. It's not all dungeons, so... Oh, I have the Desert Small. It works well. It's just a little grating, that's all. Whoa. Okay, that's a BMOS. Right. I should know that. It's vanilla. But why was it so scary? Why is it shooting bones at me? Spooky. Get out of here. I have to... It is certainly taken me a little bit of time to adjust to my hammer being on the B button. Okay. Wow, we have hammer, pearl, and soon mitts. We'll have everything we need. Oh, that's weird. That guy changed after I got the item. Like, its sprite changed. He got unbobbed. Arf. Thank you for going that way. I thought you were gonna run into me. Alrighty. Let's see what we got going on in the Dark World. Pendant Mire. Alright. Okay. Do I go back to Desert immediately and see if I can beat it? Nah. I think I do some Overworld, just to see if I can get some more weapons, in case I run into Argus or Trinex. See, I still instinctively are putting hammer on Y. I don't have to do that anymore, chat room. Okay, this is good. This is a good song. Rat. Oh shit. It's a rat. Arf, arf. It's still funny. Powder. Arf, arf. No, okay. Let's go see what our red crystals are. And we'll just do a loop up to Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts, Desert, and Thieves. Okay. Do still have a couple checks up Death Mountain, but if I can hold off until I find Hookshot or Mirror. Trying to see if I can find the last pendant. I'll have all my dungeon info. Alright, time for minigame music. It's so silly. Why do I have so much money? I should have stuck around and listened to it some more. Fortune teller music? Sure. Isn't that the same as the shop music? Pod. I do have a beatable skull. I don't know what the prize is yet, but something I could go do. Burn is nice. This is a really nice seed so far. Oh yeah. Come on, you want to go in? It's gonna be fun. Yeah, what's up, Red? I'm doing pretty swell. Can't complain. By the way, thanks to everybody that's picked up some Madrinas today. Taking advantage of them sweet deals. Definitely feeling like I got a good chance of winning that contest at the end of the month. Could you imagine my dumb face on a Madrina's product? I don't know why I'm walking you. Oh yeah, because I was going to check the fortune teller. Wait, isn't there like a... Ah. Well, I hate it. That's terrible. I was like, is there a second portion of this song? And there it was. You know what? I bet you could sneak in the super creepy music from Mario Paint, the sticker maker has like a super spooky song. Love to see that snuck in somewhere. Fleepers. Yeah, I could definitely use some more meows. Arf, arf, arf. Flavors: Willard J. Bradley coffee, salt and sweat. Sounds like a potato chip flavor, but also not. Please no. Yeah, I call it Sweaty Gamer Cold Brew. Top 5 chip. I think I do want to just go ahead and go for Skullwoods. Methinks. Even though I will probably perish. Let's see. Swamp Palace? Last pennant. Alright, cool. We have all of our dungeon info. That's nice. Ow! I don't know why this music just sounds squishy. That's not true, May. You can't prove that. Oops. Oops. There we go. I did it. No compass. Nothing but money in here. Okay. See, now what I'd want from a pack like this is to make an extended version that adds a bunch of, like, still more Mario Paint stuff, but from other Zelda games. Kind of like the, that Zelda VRC6 pack that I have, that I love. Just because, I don't know, I really like extended MSUs. They keep fresh. I just really want to go in a desert and hear Gerudo Valley, that's all. Can you blame me? Alright, we will make an attempt. Sword level, what sword level does hammer approximate to? It is a tempered sword, basically. Level 3, baby. Doesn't it have like a squishy sound to it? Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, I don't want to squander this full health, so you get out of the way. My full health, I've squandered it. What? Whatever. I'm a bunny. My hammer beams. I need those. Be gentle. Oh. Vanilla. Yo, take it easy, DT. This fanfare is good. Good fanfare. I think I am. I'm pretty sure I turned it on. Yeah, I did, because there's a Helma in Eastern. I saw that earlier. Auditory dissociation is what's going on. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Alright, last check. And we're out of here. But where to? Do I go to... I feel like I should go do Zora stuff.
Timeout.
Timeout? Zim Zim. Yo, Zim Zim. Thank you so much for the coffee purchase. Thank you for taking advantage of them sweet-ass deals. Ass deals. Don't do it, Snake. Good Snake. So, we need Eastern Big. We need a Pod Big. Thanks for the sip, Ed. We need these big, TR big, Ice Rod. We need a lot of stuff. What's scary is, like, do I dip Pod at some point? I think I would go to Desert first and try and beat it. Right now, we definitely are looking for, like, a mirror or hookshot soon. Wowie, wowie. Spin! A big key. Spin. Crab. I mean, right now, for the most part, this change doesn't really... It doesn't really feel super significant yet. It's good. It's definitely a good change. But I keep forgetting that it exists, which is funny to me. Let's see. I mean, I could go Pod and see if I can beat it, but let's actually go back and see about clearing Desert. Oh yeah, if Quick Swap wasn't a thing, it'd be huge. It's funny because this was putting Hammer on B was a suggestion that's been around for forever. Just nobody did it. Nobody made it a thing. Get out of the way. Okay, you go squish now. What's my stun prize? Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Z1R for their swordless mode have the wand replace the sword slot? Anybody know off the top of their heads? They do? Okay. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't feel too different from that, then. No, it doesn't? Okay, well. Yo, thanks for stopping by, Tam. Enjoy the Pokemans. So then, it's just an empty slot normally? So nothing goes there? Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'd never watched, never wanted to try it. That game's hard enough. Give me my sword. I wonder if that bomb even counted. I wonder if I can cancel the bomb damage by hitting him with a... hitting him with the hammer. That was cool. Okay, so I'm doing full boss shuffle. So now I know we've seen 2 Helmas and 1 Moth so far. The other Helma's at Eastern. Well, I either need to go Ice or Pod at this point. Go the mountain. Bark, 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 bark. Woof, 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 woof. What? Mystery enemy? We do also have... Man, give me a Thief's Town Big, and then I can do Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Catfish. Come on, Neil. I just wanted to come up here and do this, just because I've had access to this since I went to Kakariko. Didn't want to leave anything behind up here. Okay. Arf, 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 arf. These need more baby cry sound effects for Mario Paint. I require more... and more oinks. I need more oinks. More baby cries, more oinks, more cat and dog. Just to name a few. Okay, well, I think at this point now we do need to just make a judgment call. Which of the 2 dungeons would I rather go to? I think I'd rather go Pawn. I still switched to Hammer. I didn't need to. That's gonna be so hard to, like, stop doing. Ah, my martial memory. Oh. Oh, mamma mia. Yeah, it's very funny. I believe this was made in the Mario Paint Composer program. Not Mario Paint itself, but a separate program. Watch out, monkey! Kikina! I'll still never forget that time, last season of League, JP and I were practicing for week 7 of Enemizer, the co-op Enemizer, when I was opening up Palace of Darkness, and that Patrick Star, the red translucent idiot that you see in the Hellway in Thieves Town, just out of nowhere beelined it up to Kiki and deleted it from the game, and I hard locked. But I didn't I wasn't streaming it. I was offline, so I couldn't prove it. And then I'm pretty sure it happened like sometime earlier this year, and somebody had a video of it. So I was like, yes, sweet validation, thank you. I know I'm not crazy, folks. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. But it did, and it was very funny. See, like, this is great. Like, Go Boomerang. So I like the gold guard, he's cool. Ah, my one bomb. You know what? You can have that. I don't need it. Yeah, the Gibbo just wanted to become whole again, which, you know, I can't blame him for that. Did I get a compass for this place? No. Okay, that gets me independent mire. I mean, the scary thing here is just not having a bottle or anything. I would hate to get all the way to the boss and it be a cold stare that I can't beat. Oh, you found it? It was Homewrecker? Okay. Yes! Oh, man. It made me so mad that I wasn't streaming it or recording it. I don't need to switch. I have the hammer. Ha! Spawn on top of me. That's not fair. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that full magic is so good. Hold on. Fortunately, I am almost dead, so... What? Oh, those things don't get stunned by boomerang. Dang. No hook shot. Whatever. I don't feel like going bow side again. Okay, if hookshot's in here, I'm mad. Yeah, that's the downside, Dataplot. Now if hookshot is in here, then I'll feel even sadder. But it's okay. It's fine. Get out of the way! No, get out of the way! We already got one vanilla small in here. I was hoping there'd be something there. What, you ding dong? Oh gosh, okay, this song's a little grating. Okay, so it wasn't here, so it's either somewhere in the overworld or Ice Palace. Well, that makes the Ice Palace play a lot better. I had it. Is that fairy gonna ruin me? You stupid fairy! Hammer jump's impossible. That's nice. B. Well, I'm loading up that potion for sure, or that bottle of the potion for sure. Bark, 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 bowie, wowie. Alright. What are you looking at? So what's interesting is that Ice House Big is probably not in logic. Harmless Hellway usually requires how many small keys in Key Sanity? Is it 5? Should be 6. Gotcha. Okay, I want to come here to get a little magic refill. And I'm gonna go grab purple chest, check hammer bags, just real quick. I feel like Mir's gonna be showing up here pretty soon, which will make this play feel a little bit bad. Just in case I could have done this. Well, done this with a route down to like K45 Bombo's tablet. Arf. Woof woof. I'm sure as hell not going into Pennant Mire anytime soon. Get the chest! Thank you. The heck were you thinking? By the way, chat, still planning to do Ultra Dumbathon. Don't have a specific date in mind yet. Was going to be shooting for around this time, but I'm just really focused on League right now. Why is the music slightly different? I'm using a cool thing where I can replace the music of this game with anything that I want. And for this playthrough, it's filled with Mario Paint music. Tuned to the style of Link to the Past. What's a league? Hello, F. Coughlin. Fred, spill the beans. Who's racing for week 7? I'm gonna be rooting for y'all. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. There's a lot of noise in this room. Probably not you. Say that, Fred. This guy is not gonna have a good time right now. Just kidding, he's having a great time. Oh, right. What, is this some sort of Venomizer? I have not had a particularly good season myself. Especially, you know, dropping both of my solo weeks feels super bad, but... That's one too low. Yeah. There we go. Ah, do I play off a TV or a capture card? I'm playing on a TV. Fairy. Yeah, are you talking about Shack Tool? Yeah, that's a bit of a shocker to me, at least. I mean, even without Aussie, like, they're still really good players, so it's kind of shocking to see them sitting at potential relegation. Did you cut that out? Why are you so good? One in 5 in the season? Dang. That sucks. That's tough. I mean, I don't... That's the thing, though. Like, the way I'm looking at it is, like, you know, I'm sitting at 2 and 3 for my team, which is, you know, for me, not too good. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's a randomizer. Sometimes you have good seasons, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you play really well, sometimes you don't. It's no... You know... It's no huge reflection on yourself as a player. Sometimes you just... underperform. And that's just... It just is what it is. And, you know, a lot of the times... I mean... There was a discussion that was going on in there the other day about, like, wanting to reduce the Invitational League because somebody claimed that some of the teams in there weren't deserving of being in there. And that person's an absolute clown. Because I think, if you look at a lot of the races, I'm curious how many of the races in the Invitational were simply decided by one person flipping a coin and picking the right side. Versus, like, full-on skill gap difference. Like, I think it's really hard to just look at records alone and being like, yeah, this team doesn't deserve to be in the Invitational. They're not that good. Like, oh my god, look at that! sometimes all it takes is a simple different pendant dive, and all of a sudden the scores are flipped. I was gonna get hit no matter what, so better to just spend the magic and not take damage. I will say though, looking at Open League, I remember last season Open League, like the teams that made it into the playoffs stood out quite differently from the rest. That I personally could see a potential like third tier league. Like Gold League, Silver League, Bronze League kind of thing. I could definitely see something like that shape up. Yeah, my last race, I'm mad about, because it's like, all I had to do was find pod. I was in such a good, like, I was in a surprisingly good position, and it's so tough when you're sitting there playing a randomizer, and you're saying to yourself, okay, I literally just need this one instance to not happen. And then it happens, and it's like, okay, well, never mind. I mean, what am I supposed to do? It is what it is. There's nothing you can really do about it. Doesn't mean that I'm like a worse player or anything. Like, all I wanted was that pod was not in the desert area. But of course it was. And it's like, that just sucks, man. It sucks. I play it over and over in my head, like, I should have just, after Ice Palace, gone, activated Flute, and gone straight there. I was like, yeah, but spending time activating Flute is slow when I could just go to the Dark World, save and quit, go to the Pyramid, and there's top of castle I can check really quickly. So, it just is what it is. So, Kara, are bosses set in certain locations in killable settings? Because it seemed like you knew that Coldstare was going to be here. I'm just gonna do this, because I can. Killable doesn't affect bosses? Okay. Then how'd you know? Did you just take a guess that Coldstare was gonna be here? I probably should have switched to Fire Rod before attacking some more. Coldstare can only be in Ice Palace because of the Bombos icon. Oh! Gotcha. Right, because if Coldstare's elsewhere, then that messes with the logic. Gotcha, I didn't think about that. I had not considered. That's interesting. Okay. I'm gonna buy some bombs. I'm gonna go buy more potion. Story of my Rando life? Yeah. It sucks. Yeah, like, I know you mentioned when you were interviewing Jesse, like, you said, yeah, all Willard had to do was just flute to 6 and go to desert. It's like, well, yeah, that's so easy to do when you know it's there. And at the same time, like, I think it'd be a completely different story if I had already activated flute, but I didn't, which is why I did other stuff. And I was just like, I just needed to not be there. And it was, and that's it, and that's fine. Like, I mean, it sucks, but it's fine. I definitely would have preferred going into week 7, sitting at a comfy 7-5, where I basically just need to get one win to get. If we went, well, I mean, here's the thing. If I mean, there's so many different scenarios that could have played out, but if I won my game this week, then we have a much better chance of finishing second in our division, which would have been sick. I guess we'll go do Death Mountain stuff. GT did win, yeah. That race was not very close at all. which I think really just stemmed off of DT's opponent dying over in the Dark World Flute 5 area, which led to Hookshot and missing out on Hookshot for a very long time. I don't think that was like a huge decisive moment, but it felt like it. Because Hookshot is just such a nice tool to have early. Yeah, bad deaths are really bad. Is that a Lionel? That's a Lion. I think that's the Lionel's front head. Oh my god. Why are the Kadongas shooting Igors? I love this. You know, this is exactly what Enemizer needs. It needs more palette shenanigans. We need more than just Bob and GT. We need this nonsense. I love it. Coffee break. Yeah, my last two races, though they were both like still like 2.5 minutes and like 4.5 minute losses, they really just kind of came down to like a single decision for me. And it's really frustrating. Because like I spent so much time practicing and preparing, and I think both my opponents just had like really good luck in their races. I mean, not to say that they didn't have the skill to compete, because they're both really good runners, but I feel like both times I heard in the interview like that they just had the better luck. And it's like, man, why can't I have that? Why can't I have some good luck? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're just looking for the last entrance for a dungeon, yeah, there is some thought process and, you know, decision-making skills on which entrances you want to go for. And you can metagame like, oh man, I feel behind, so maybe I should go for some of the more, you know, one-off locations as opposed to just going for the dense ones, the easy ones, the ones I think my opponent would have hit already. Park. Yeah, I mean, I was feeling good up until that near last location boots, and then that super late CT into useless Cackwell. But I don't know. To me, I think it was the better play, just because I didn't have enough keys to put the GT climb completely in logic, so I just didn't feel like it was the right choice to make. Yeah. Well, data play, I think in my situation, I didn't go for the isolated plays at first. I went for group, like I went for Castle Tower, that's 3 checks. And then I went up the mountain and did mirror checks on the mountain. But then it's like after you've committed to these lesser than ideal locations, then you have to play the game of, do I want to then go do... Like at that point, then you just kind of have to... Like for me, I feel like I have to start gambling a little bit on my entrances. I also felt super behind by the time I got that mirror, so... Like, I thought I had already lost by that point, which was, you know, definitely a thing that I need to stop doing, but it's so hard not to when you've full cleared the game up to that point. It's so hard to think clearly and strategically at that point when you feel so far behind. And when you're at the point where you're hitting that last location, like, sometimes it's really hard to stay focused on, like, making, you know, calculated plays versus just, like, autopiloting, just going to the next spot. Like, okay, well, this didn't work, let's go to the next one. Okay, that didn't work, let's go to the next one. Like, definitely in those situations, I've just thrown out decision-making and reasoning to just going down a list, for sure. Half Magic, Ice Rod... Where's this hook shot? Where's my lamp? So I don't know. Well, I can go to Thieves... Thieves Town without small key feels bad. Arf, arf. Mama do it. What's up, Wrecking Crew? Oh, I gotta remember to go do... No, this will work out. So I'll do Thieves Town, skip Big Chest, then I can do Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid, and then check the first chest in Agate Tower. But personally, I don't know, it's... Did I... Wait. Oh, I never went in? Did I just open this up and then never go in? Oops. Oops. I tried with Frog. Oh, yeah. Well, there's no way this will backfire. Okay, what do we need to finish this seed? We need a big key to Eastern. We need TR big. We need GT big. Hookshot in Samaria. You know what? No. You know, I'll just skip the back half. I really just want to go Pyramid, Fairy, Pyramid, do all that stuff. I also keep going back to my Swordless race and thinking, like, man, if I had just checked Bumper Ledge that first trip I was in Village of Outcast, how differently that seed would have played out. But then my next thought is, like, but would it have played out for the better or for the worse? Because now, all of a sudden, I could see myself getting the cape out of Ice Palace, getting that bow, beating Eastern, and then potentially full clearing pod for no reason. So... I think it's really easy to sit down and just be like, man, if I had done this... See, look! I made the right play skipping it. But at the same time, like, if you change your route in a playthrough, it's like not wanting to mess with the timeline. Like, go into the past and don't mess with the timeline, because you never know how the rest of the seed's going to play out from that point then. There's no guarantee I would have made the same plays. But it definitely feels bad to lose a race. I don't think me missing Bumper Ledge cost me the race. I think it was me picking Death Mountain over Saha's Closet at the beginning of the seed. I think that definitely hurt me more. Alright, we'll do... And then we can wrap this up, turn in Mushroom, go check Catfish. But at this point, we either need to make a Mire dip. Yeah, we might just have to make a Mire dip if Samari doesn't show up. Those pesky ghosts. God dang ghosts. Let's switch to Hammer again. But yeah. Dang Ocarina time. Das Fluten Tuten. I guess the real point I want to get at is that no matter how you played this season, don't give yourself too hard of a time. Because at the end of the day, it's still a randomizer. All of your plays that failed could have been the correct play, and you could have won by 20 hours. It just is what it is. And it's something that I still need to, like, tell myself all the time. Like, you lost, but it's not your fault. Unless you, like, died a cold stare. Then it's your fault. But just don't do that. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, don't yell at me. Ugh, Swamp Small? In Logic Swamp Small? Gross. Like, I know I was feeling bad for my team, because, like, this is our worst season yet. Which feels bad, but at the same time, it's like, dude, everybody's getting so damn good. Okay, that was fun. All I got was an item that I didn't want. I mean, it's scary because right now, I mean, it's not scary, but it is interesting that out of the 4 seasons that we've been in the league, this is our, like, first time where we're on the cusp of not making playoffs, which is a testament to how, like, consistent our team is, which is really cool. Love it. But, oh, that was a good V? Oh, I just got rid of a good V. Yeah, there's a lot of new modes this season, which I'm not going to complain about because I spent enough time complaining about mode selection during main tournament, so. I think that was nice. That's one of the nice things about it being a team event is that, you know, not everybody has to play every week. So if a mode shows up that some players are not comfortable with or aren't as well versed in, then their other teammates can step up. I don't know what the plan is next season for our team. It's hard to say. Okay, I have 2 options here. Hookless Swamp or... I'm going Mire. Right now, I have Graveyard Ledge as an entrance I haven't checked. If there's one thing that I would love for League, would be more co-op weeks, but at the same time, I completely understand why that can't be possible. And like I totally get it. I just personally enjoy the co-op weeks a lot more than the solo weeks. Yeah. Start a co-op league? Easier said than done. It's a lot of work. You hate racing 1v1 tournament style? I have grown weary of it. I definitely have more fun with co-op weeks. Or co-op tourneys in general. I think solo weeks is just way too dang stressful. Probably just gonna find the lamp over here or something. Okay. Well, that's a beatable pod now. The real downside is... I mean, now I have a full clearable pendant swamp. Blech. Seed's making me want to go check pedestal soon. Just the chat interaction. Yeah. It's kind of why I like joining more laid-back tournaments, because I like... I think the thing for me is, like, I'm at the point where when I'm streaming, I need the chat interaction. I don't really enjoy racing, isolated, no chat, no co-op, just me playing the seed and just focusing. I don't know. I don't think I'm enjoying that anymore. I think I'd rather either just reduce how many tournaments I join, especially tournaments that require delay. I am not a fan of stream delay. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the hard part, because usually I do a buffer up. And I don't think I can do that with... I don't know if this trick is actually doable now. Without the punch buffer. Yeah, because I feel like the hammer sends you too far up. Unless you just cap. But, I don't know. I feel like I can't dash buffer. That's weird. Yeah, it won't let me do that. Tap up? No, that's too far. Yeah, this trick might be dead because of this. Alright, second downfall about this mode. No more rail clips. Unless there's another way to... Because I'm trying to buffer up 1 pixel. But I can't do that without the sword buffer. Unless there's another item I can use to buffer. Right. What sucks is I really want to just rush, like... That's another pendant! Alright, you're making me check pedestal now. Thank you. Because now I'm just Samaria away from pulling ped. So let's go check it, and then... I either need to... I don't really want to go to Hookshot Cave just for 4 items. That seems like a bad call. I can't blind pull. That's... What are you talking about, Dataplet? It's not even an option. You fool! I think for me as a streamer, where this is like the main thing I do, I need like that full-on chat interaction. I think I'm just not as interested in doing tournaments anymore. At least like super serial ones, where I'm just completely secluded from everything. Yeah. I mean, 6 years was a pretty good set of tournaments. Arf. Oh, I don't, Fred. I haven't been giving clean audio to Tourney for a long time, because I usually keep my webcam and mic on, and because I usually upload my races to YouTube. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the 10-minute delay. A little bush crab, a little spiky bush crab. Man. Yeah, the problem with delay is that I think for me it just messes with my metrics too much, because I have to cut stream and start again, so then... And especially with restreams, like, usually hurting my stream numbers when I do restream tourney races, so that's why I've been doing them on the alt channel instead. Not that, like, not that I really need to worry too much about my average viewership, but at the same time, I probably should care a little bit. Because, for sponsorships and stuff, people, I think, will usually look at concurrent viewership, and... How am I saying? The thing that's bringing my numbers down is streaming Elden Ring. Not tourney races, but... That's okay. Elden Ring with Swerve is too fun. I think next time I play, I want to go back to that sweet volcano manor. What's a sponsorship? I actually, I don't know. I don't usually seek them out. I'm pretty content with just being with Madrinas right now. Just do Elden Ring on Willard Games? I mean, I could, but... I don't know. The problem there, then, is that none of the VODs are on my main channel, then. So I would have to go highlight them and then upload them. It's not the end of the world. I don't know. That's the other thing, though. I don't know how many people are actually, like, watching Elden Ring highlights. I think I have, like, the first 6 VODs highlighted right now. I would be curious to see, like, what % of people actually do go back and watch VODs versus highlights. It's the coffee. If there's any other sponsorship I'd want, it'd be some sort of like what? Like some sort of, I don't know, baked goods. I need some baked goods sponsorship to go with my coffee sponsor. Mostly a VOD guy. Wait, Def, that was you? Man, I thought I was in required. Damn. Required to use an alt account to stream to for them to capture from, since some people didn't want their metrics breaking. It's interesting that they required it from everybody then. Yeah, that's a little weird. Why would you do that? Like, Willard Games has always been like my bot account. Like that was its main purpose when I made it. I think. Or was it? It was like that, but also when I streamed Yakuza 0. I think that was the first stream I did, or one of the first uses of Willard Games. Was to stream Yakuza 0. Oh man, I'm finding all the great keys after I'm already done with stuff. Did I find anything in here? I found just a Hera big key. Look at this ding dong, can't move. Ah! Oh, this fight's gonna be nice with the hammer, because it means I can actually start the second phase, like the ice head, immediately. I don't have to wait until it's done exploding. Yeah, I really think the sword on B is really just going to be helpful on a lot of the bosses, which I know is a major complaint with a lot of people about this mode. Especially Argus, who we are going to go kick their ass soon. I didn't even think about cape usage. Now that's a concept. Invisible hammer. Smack, smack. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. Yeah, Daft's just sitting here being a big old jerkus to somebody. That's all. Daft's just in chat being toxic. That's all. I don't remember what this was. I want to say it was nothing. That was meat. I do remember that person, of course. Because they would ask me to hang out with them and go surfing all the time. Which, I mean, I don't know how to surf, so that wasn't gonna happen. Okay, well, here's the fun part of non-entrance shuffle key sanity. I have a bunch of crappy options now. Where do I go next? So it's either I go do... I mean, at this point I can go out of logic beat pod, which is not terrible. Or I can go back up and do a hookshot cave real quick. Ah. Okay, well now... I mean, pod's still not in logic because I'm lacking keys, but... At this point, it's doable. If I get one more key, I can full clear it, which would be ideal. Oh, I'm always down for more coffee sipping. Oh. I need more. Aw. Alright, I guess I'm heading back into Thieves Town. I'm surfing right now! Huh? There could be worse things you could be doing right now while watching stream. Yeah. I have lived in California for 9 years now. I've been to the ocean several times. I've never actually gone swimming in it since I've been out here. But I'm just not that interested in swimming in the ocean. It's cold and salty. I'll get my feet and ankles wet. That's good enough for me. Also, the sand is coarse and it gets everywhere. No, I haven't, but I'll make sure to do that next time I go. You didn't know. Don't say that. You're just mad that I beat you to saying it. Swimming in the ocean was fun when you were a kid. The last time I remember swimming in the ocean was on a trip to California I took when I was a kid, and we were at a beach that was mostly like gravel, and it was very uncomfortable. It hurt my feetsies. Ow. Once, when I was a child, I found a giant piece of seaweed and played with it for a while. Then a big wave came and I lost it, and it was really sad. I think that's why I lost my taste for swimming at the beach. That's the saddest story I heard all day. Oh, West Coast. Wait, what? Yeah, I went swimming at the California beach on the East Coast. Unless that was a question for someone else. This is my villain backstory. That is when I decided that I hated the ocean. There we go. Okay, so I just had to do that the first time I was in here, that's all. But instead I waited for the Thieves Town small and missed out on that, would have missed out on that juicy heart. Alright, let's go to TR. Wait, I have the big key for it. I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll do it anyway, though. Actually, let's go beat Hera. Bark, 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 bark. There's so many places in America with the same name as other places. I would not be surprised if there was a California beach on the East Coast. True. But to make the assumption that that's what I'm talking about seems a little far-fetched D, if you ask me. There was some Reddit post I saw where somebody posted a picture of a sign. You know those signs that have names of a bunch of different, like, locations? And it lists, like, how many miles to said location? It was like a town in Maine or something that had a bunch of towns named after different countries. Like, 20 miles to Mexico, 30 miles to Paris. Oh, they're fine. Don't worry about them dinos. They're living their best life. Oh boy. It's interesting that the dongos and kadongos remained vanilla in this. Or did they? Is there normally red ones there? Oh, what is this? Time to go for meme strats? Eh. No, I think the real option is to drop down there, turn on cape, stand on top of the big eyeball, and just wail. Because mashing the B button still minimizes how much magic is used. This is great. It definitely shouldn't do that, but it does it. Forget, how many tempered sword slashes is it? Oh, that many. Okay. Where did he go? Yeah, it just clears the board. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, well, we just need Eastern Big and TR Big. We have Green Pendant Turn-In, Hookshot Cave, front of TR, Viddy, and there's Vanilla Big Key Chest in Eastern. There's Vanilla Big Key Chest in Pod and Helma. Get out of the way. Rough and ready. It's a city in Austria called fucking. That's fucking hilarious. Bump ass Virginia. Or is it bum pass? Well, it depends on where the emphasis is. Either way, very funny. I skipped Hookshot Cave because I'm dumb. Wrong way. We'll go check that and then come back in. I was driving around California, and I referred to Rodeo Drive as Rodeo Drive, and I got laughed at, and I never recovered. I don't need Castle Tower keys, game. I don't want a shield. Urin's or Saskatchewan? Oh, is it Urinetown? Honk, honk, honk. I would like more pod smalls. One more, please. Yo, this silly person said rodeo. Get a look at that pointy-haired little girl. This poor creature. Ow! Hey, you're not supposed to be a pokey. That's illegal. Oh, I still need another TR small, too. Man, it's been a while since I've just played pure Key Sanity. Ow! You stupid dingling. Pod? Thank you. Perfect fantasy RPG. Kickapoo? Cucamonga! Keokuk? Seattle! Husband used to drive through it, says it's a piss hole. Pretty comical take there. Hammer, you're letting me down. Ah, I'm a dog. I'm not. Okay. I guess all the Pokies are vanilla? Or is it just a coincidence? One of them there, coinkydinks. Oh, I don't want to go back into Castle Tower for one check. Annaville, Waddle, Bank, Secret Fourth. So I thought that said Secret Foursome. I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it did not say those words, but I thought it did, and I didn't like it. Oh! Yahoo! Okay. So I can go beat Pod Eastern. I'm gonna make this play real quick, because I'm curious. Now. So I need TR big and a TR small, that's it. That is my goo mode. We have 2 items in Pod and 2 items in Eastern. 3 items in Eastern, actually. And I can turn in Green Pennant, so. Langlethen Tuglawa? Excuse me. You run that by me again? That just sounds like names of crustaceous scientific names. Okay. Lava chest is bad. Bum 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 bum. Wait. Dog. Alright, so far, I gotta say, this has been pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. Hammer on B, I like it. I definitely like it. That also does kind of pave the way for the possibility, I wonder, of actually having like full Link's Awakening style. I have 2 different weapons on A and Y, or B and Y. I know. I was like, what if you equip both rods at the same time? Or I feel like it would lead to more broken stuff, but that's the fun part. The what ifs. Okay, so worth noting, I've already been to the boss room. I just couldn't beat it. So I'm safe to open this. This is fine. We're looking for just TR items at this point. And I kind of hope I find the TR small first, because then I avoid the possibility of having to go to TR again. Thank you, game. Couldn't even finish my statement before the game said, yeah, hold that thought, buckaroo. Wait, I still need a GT Big. What the heck? Where's my GT Big? Bruh. Please. Arf, arf, arf. Yeah, this will be a little bit easier because I have a lamp this time. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Tracy. Wow! We're so close to the end! I don't care about you all. I want to do the funny. Here it is. The moment we've all been waiting for. Oh, it's beautiful. Ding? Ding? What? Why is it doing that? Why is it making that noise? Oh, it's so good! It's good stuff. It's because I'm a winner? I don't need a ding-a-ling to tell me that. When was the last time I played Vanilla Link to the Past? Last month? When I got my sub 90 NMG time? Was that last month? Maybe 2 months ago. Is it August? Or September? I still think it's funny that I hadn't played NMG in over a year. And I get the sub 90 on my, like, third attempt. I did one full run. I did a second run that died to blind, and then I reset, and then got on the third run that day. And I was like, oh, done. It's over, I did it. Well. Bum, bum, bum. There it is. I'm not gonna gamble on this. I hate this entrance, or this place over here, but I'm not gonna skip it. There's no point. So you know, if I skip it, it's gonna be the GT Big Key over here. 100%. Pretty interesting that the game's like, go to Mimic Cave to get TR big, or no, to get Eastern big, to go get the next TR small. I wonder where the fourth one is then. It's probably gonna be in TR, if I had to guess. Oh, okay. Well, that would have been nice sooner. Oh my gosh, that would have been nice sooner. If I had actually gotten that the first time I was in here, then I would have had 5 pod smalls the first time I went into PA and had that TR big key the first time I came into T. I would have that for TR. That would have been huge. Where is he? There he is. I mean, I guess ultimately it doesn't matter if I had had the TR big the first time I went into TR or not. Unless the 4th TR small is also, like, on Laser Bridge. Then I could have done TR in one go. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Just let me hit you. Alright, GT big key for go mode. No. Okay. Well, let's go full clear TR. And the GT, I mean, all we have left at this point is 1 item in Castle Tower and 1 item on Vidi. I think we've cleared literally everything else in the game up to this point. In before, shovel in GT for GT big key. Which mode was it that had GT big key? It was like key shuffle. Was that the Invrosia? That was Invrosia that had GT big key in GT, right? Or was it? No, it was the last main tournament had that inverted keys mode, but the GT big key was in GT, right? Or am I just completely crazy? Chat, am I losing it? Bark, 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 woof, woof, woof. Was that in League Invrosia? Okay. I didn't play that week, so... I still can't believe that literally week 1 of League for us was which was the co-op all dungeons, was a 20-second loss in game 1 and then a 6-second win in game 2. Like that, like that's just nuts. That's how our league started this season. What's up, Gilgamesh? Gilgamesh, how'd your race go? I was tuning in every now and then to see before I started. Pokebutt intercepted my second shot. Oh, I need to check the big chest anyway. 1 by 30 seconds? Hell yeah, dude. 40-minute Eastern Big Key hunt. Disgusting. Where was it? Where did it end up being? I don't like these Gibdo stacks, to be honest. There it is. Alright, sweet. Cool. I love getting to skip all of GT. But it's swordless. I need to find silvers. No. No. I forgot about that. Pendant Lamola? Gross. Was Desert Big Key super late, or just put it off for a really long time? Can't wait to burn this controller. Come on! Of course, there was a TR small in here. I called it. So yeah, if I had just done the Firelock side and Eastern, I would have been able to do TR in one go this seed. Though, you know, I would have ended up abandoning Lava Chest, which is always scary, but it would have been fine. Yo, Magna, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome, Rowan. I'm trying out a new thing with Swordless that Kara Fruit put together. Where basically, my hammer is on my sword button. It's pretty great. Bam. 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 Hey, Fox, please. Alright, I still need to find my silvers. They're either in GT, which is very likely at this point, Castle Tower chest number 2, Meyer boss, or dig spot with shovel in one of those previous locations. That's really funny though about the TR small. Like, what the heck, man? Come on. Come on, bro. Yeah, I hope you had a good stream. What were you doing? Were you doing some ladder racing? Your team already did their 2 races this week for League, so I know it's not bad. Got crushed in ladder? Nice. Sorry to hear that. But it happens. See, I hate this because I just want to climb and skip the basement. Like, this is the worst scenario. Whoa, I forgot about Bugnet. Red Bomb and Ped wasn't the fastest route? Oh no. I feel like generally, well, but hunting GT for a Triforce piece can be pretty slow too, depending on how far it is. I really think Champions Hunt is a cool mode. I don't know if it's a cool mode for racing. I guess it can be just because of the alternate routes you can take to the end goal. No, it's a Teta. There it is! Okay, I literally just need silvers to not be on the climb. That's it. Found a catfish book for Pennant Desert for Bowen Desert. I mean, yeah, like... That's just how you play the seed. You make decisions based on what items you find, and sometimes those decisions can completely change how much items you find. I know in previous like seeds of that mode, I've definitely changed my route on the fly depending on the next progression I got. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this. I was like clearing out swamp, and then I was gonna go beat another dungeon. But then I think I found fire out at the back of swamp, so my route completely changed to go do Skull instead. Which is what's inherently interesting about the mode. But, you know, it can send you down the wrong path. I think the mode's interesting. I think for me, though, it does seem a little too samey. Because, like, you always generally want... I think that one of the things I would change about the mode is removing the whole having to go talk to the guy at the end of the seed. Because then 9 times out of 10, if Red Bomb is one of your Triforce pieces, you just do that into turn-in. I think for modes with static Triforce pieces, like you know where they're going to be, can be a random, like, spawn you into the Triforce room once you find it. Of course, this one's kind of different because GT is a little different, but at the same time, I think it's okay if you find a Triforce piece in GT and you're just done. Just teleports to the Triforce room. I think in Seeds, where the Triforces can be anywhere, a little bit different. That's just the way I feel about it. Oh gosh, okay. His heads, they're too tall, clearly. Okay, we got our silvers, so that's good. So we are now truly in go mode. We can just finish this thing out. Hammer! This was definitely a full clear scene, for sure. Do it again, I dare you. Stop zapping me. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Don't do it again. I mean, I could just be a big cheeser and just use cape and just smack everybody whilst invisible, or invincible. Well, both. Alright, who do we got? Hey, Viddy! I have silvers this time, though, so... It's a shame you can't hit the big eyeball when it pops its head up with silvers, but that would be a little too overpowered. But it is interesting that it's designed that way. Get out of here. Okay. What do we got? Ah! Gotta say, it has been weird playing an Enemizer where none of the non-killable enemies are randomized. I kind of like it, because you definitely don't have that Enemizer tax that you have to pay otherwise, where you, like, walk through a door and immediately get hit by a fire bar. There's definitely some value to it that I do like. And of course, no big dumb yellow spikes on the pod falling bridge. That one's good too. What? Moldorm? You dingling. Yeah. It heard me call it a dingling. It didn't like it. Ah. Okay. Dang, I wonder if I had another Argus. So which bosses did we get repeats of? We got 2 Vidi, 2 Helma. I guess there was still Ice Armos and Vidi or Meyer boss that we didn't see. But that's probably where one of the other duplicates were. Aw, bad angle. Nice. Dang, I was hoping that would be a good angle, but it wasn't. Because I needed just one more, but whatever. Yeah, nice shade of purple. Purplish gray. I like it. Alright, who's ready for some Mario Paint styled Ganon music? I'm ready. I don't know if you can hear it, but there are pig oinks going on. Honestly, this combo is just OP. This is nuts. Being able to use Cape and Hammer at the same time? I mean, it's no different than being able to use Cape and a Tempered Sword, so... GG! Yeah, because it treats, much like when you spam your sword while using Cape, it reduces the magic consumption. Same thing for this. Works with the hammer as well. GG's! Definitely an improvement over standard Swordless. I like the change. Only downside is not being able to do the sword buffer, like the punch buffer for lineups, so rail clipping is hard. I didn't get a chance to try out Icebreaker, but my setup for Icebreaker might not have worked because I also do the sword buffer to get the initial like door extension lineup. So. Yeah, pretty cool. Something I might have to play again, try out another time. Oh yeah, GG's. Yay!